Well, Sean Lennon here with PWE Report, and right now we're excited to have A.M.B. Of course, A.M.B. is one of the up-and-coming stars in the Midwest of professional, independent professional wrestling here in Illinois, and we're excited to have him on the show. He's going to be taking on Quintero at Midwest Championship Wrestling event. This is a finals matchup for a qualifying tournament to become a champion there, so we're excited to see that as well. And if you haven't seen him before, we've seen him at Honor Among Wrestling. He held championship belts there, Chicago Style Wrestling, JWA, Galli Lucha Libre, and various other promotions. He's wrestling mostly in the Indiana and Illinois area. So we welcome him on, and we appreciate you being on PWE. How are you doing today?
Man, thanks for having me. It's an honor to finally be on. Thank you so much, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just kind of just getting ready for the weekend, getting ready for this big match. This is the first time me and Quintero will be sharing the ring and singles action, so I'm very excited for
Yes.
it. It's going to be something that the fans should, hopefully be excited for as well. You definitely don't want to miss it. So
Definitely. And you and Quintero have had what was it, tag team matches in Galley, I believe,
yeah,
prior?
we've tag teamed quite a bit in Galli Lucha Libre. We actually participated in a scramble match at a local taco fest last summer, which was
Okay.
very fun. It's a good match. But yeah, other than that, we've never shared the ring one-on-one against each other. So, I'm very excited for it. He also is another big rising up-and-coming star here in the Midwest. He's
Yes.
now the CSW champion. Congratulations. A lot of mutual respect between Raphael and I. Just trying to see who the better man is, and we both want it just as bad as one another. So tomorrow night's going to be one hell of a match. Definitely don't want to miss it.
Definitely. MCW. Make sure to check that out. Of course, August 10th, Insurrection. And of course, U.S. Championship Tournament Finals. And this is going to be a new championship, I believe, right? It's premiering,
Yeah.
or is
So
this?
Conan Lycan earlier in the year at our January show when we had Brian Kendrick, we had a big six-man ladder match, and
Okay.
the winner received a contract for that, and I ended up cashing in and going on to another path. So the United States Championship kind of was on the back burner on my mindset. I was trying to like shoot for the stars, and Conan Lycan that same show defeated Casey Jacks, former well-known Midwest Championship Wrestling superstar for the United States Championship to crown the inaugural champion. And Conan's been holding on to that championship since. And it's been a while since he's been at the shows, due to
Yeah.
travel and everything like that. But he's very excited from what I hear that, he's looking to make a statement and let everybody know that, he's not one to be forgotten about. Conan Lycan, the Land Shark, he's held many championships all across the Midwest, and he's
Yes.
got a lot of big ventures coming up in his future. You're definitely going to be hearing a lot about this guy. He is a freak of nature, and he's here to make it known that he's not to be forgotten. And if you definitely want to come see tomorrow night because he's looking to tear the house down. And whether it's me or Raphael Quintero, either way, he's wanting to walk away with that gold still. So, it's all
Okay.
about the championship right now.
Definitely. Yeah, the card looks exciting. I mean, you've got a lot of great matches in store, and and you've got EC3 is going to make his debut for MCW, and
Yep,
talk
yep,
about
such an honor.
bringing him and against Nick Nolan. How excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm very excited. One of the DVDs that I had growing up had a couple matches of like the NWA World Championship featured on there. Jeff Jarrett was in one of the matches. AJ Styles had won the championship and one of the DVDs. So it's pretty cool just to see, a piece of wrestling history, in the NWA World Championship, but also EC3 as well. He's a very credible notable name in our industry. He's controlling his own narrative, to say the least.
Yes.
He's really bet on himself, and that's something that a lot of us as wrestlers we try to we take pride in that. Betting on ourselves and seeing what we're fully capable of, and it's just really cool to finally have the honor to have someone as credential as him, as the current NWA World Champion, to come on out and make his presence known at Midwest Championship Wrestling. So I'm very
Yes,
excited for it.
I am as well. That's going to be a great matchup. Is there an opponent for Conan liking yet, or is it a mystery as of now?
The winner of me and Raphael Quintero will determine who's going to go on to the championship match to face
Okay,
Conan Lycan. So yeah, it's something you definitely don't want to miss again. Just because we've been building this for whole summer, really. We've seen a lot of new people come in to MCW and showcase themselves in a very good way. And now that the tournament's winding down, it's kind of just grinding out to see who wants it more. And I'm very excited for this matchup. Win or lose, whether Raphael defeats me and goes on to face Conan. Like I said, it's mutual respect between Raphael and I. Um, I would be honored to, hold the championship in Midwest Championship Wrestling, due to the circumstances, of how
right.
we've gotten to this very point in life. But yeah, may the best man win. I'm looking forward to, my mission was to be a two-time champion in MCW when this all started. I held the MCW World Championship for a little bit. And I was really hoping to have both championships, major championships on my
Sure.
shoulder at the same time. And the cookie didn't crumble the way that I would like, but I'm still in there. I still got some opportunity to, showcase myself and make an impact and, be a walking beacon for what the United States Championship means in MCW.
For sure, it's exciting to see. And you and Conan have shared the ring before. You were in that ladder match, as you mentioned. Is this the first time a potential singles matchup? First time for you?
No, so we wrestled in a singles match in Honor Among Wrestling actually for the
Okay,
Honor Among Wrestling Midwest Championship, their major promotional title. And I actually, off of luck, honestly, I still can't believe I did it. It's very surreal. It was my first world championship in wrestling, and to defeat someone like that, I've done it once before, and I think whether it's luck or not, I have the potential to do it one more time.
yeah, definitely. It's an amazing card. And Koa Laksamana, Hawaiian Hitman, of course. Talk about his role in MCW. He's taking more of a role behind the scenes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's been a tremendous help. A lot of us here at MCW, with the late passing of Jimmy Smooth, James Stoblin, we've all been very working hard together diligently to try to, just keep things rolling. And, we got a nice fan base at MCW. They keep coming back. They're eager for more, and they don't want this to go away just as much as we don't. And we're all kind of working diligently together to, make a good environment and give people a new opportunity to just have some new entertainment in the area, especially with where we're at. There's really not a whole lot going around. You got Dreamwave that's very close. I love Dreamwave. I attend their shows as well. There's a lot of people that just kind of want to see new people being brought to the forefront and new storylines and some new
Sure.
ideas. And we figured why not? Bet on ourselves again, kind of like what I was referencing on EC3. Just kind of bet on ourselves and just see if we can keep the life going with MCW. And it's been a journey, a learning curve for a lot of us. Cole is a tremendous help. He's honestly one of the most nicest people that I have met in wrestling, and he's a very good brother.
Excellent. And of course, you've got listed on the show is Gunner Brave, and you and Gunner Brave have a history. It's going to lead, of
Yeah,
course, till August 17th, and I believe you and Gunner have a date for the HAW Championship. So talk about Gunner as as an opponent, but also as a comrade, as you know what I mean, as someone that you have a lot in common with.
absolutely. Gunner Brave, he's one of those guys when I first started coming around the Midwest scene and getting into this stuff again. And I would always see some wild clips of this kid, and he's out there doing crazy stuff and kind of earned the moniker that Gunner doesn't die. And I kind of wanted to bank off of that leading into my first time wrestling him, which is very surreal that I had that mentality. But he's willing to do whatever it takes and
Mhm.
to just go to that next level and dig deep within himself. And I always wanted an opportunity like that, no matter as a fan or a wrestler or not. I always liked that stuff. You know, I really wanted to be given the chance to do that and show another side of myself rather than, you know, the happy-go-lucky baby face all the time. And yeah, he was not shy at all. He said straight up in the promo, he's gonna kick my ass. You know, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a test. It's gonna be a challenge, and it sure was. We
Yes.
wrestled for, I believe, 42 minutes in an Iron
Wow.
Man match. Um, I got pretty banged up, like midway, early on, midway through that match. Was a little hazy upstairs. Didn't really know what was happening around me, and I had to dig very deep within myself to just keep going. And that's the type of competitor that Gunnar Brave is, to say the least. I got a lot of respect for him, you know, in a lot of sense of just how he's himself. It's very hard to, you know, remain yourself in an industry like this, but he's done a very good job at just kind of being true to himself, and I can respect the hell out of that. Um, as far as like the match that we had, still probably like one of the hardest matches I've ever had. Um, just going that distance, that length of time, and then also just some of the things that I've was put through in that match. You know, again, I wanted to show a different side of myself, and there was no other opponent that I could have like dreamt of trying to test that
Mhm.
style out with than Gunner Brave. So it was very fun, but it hurt like hell. And he defeated me, unfortunately. I lost my championship, and you know, I still think about that all the time, actually. You know, when am I gonna get my rematch? I've always thought about that. And now it's finally gonna happen on the 17th, and I can't wait for it just because even though he defeated me once before and he got the best of me, there's a lot of things that I was taught and things that I've learned going through this whole process in this next
Sure.
chapter of my life that I feel like I'm a lot more confident now in my abilities. So I just can't wait to get back out there. It's been a couple weeks since I've been in front of a crowd. Just been trying to manage some personal things and stuff like
Sure.
that. So I got the itch really bad, and I can't wait to wrestle Gunner Brave again.
No, that's going to be amazing the following Saturday. And Honor Among Wrestling, when we talk about it or look at it, they are really have grown in terms of adding a women's division. Have you looked at what they're doing at Honor Among Wrestling, thinking, oh, Midwest Championship Wrestling, maybe we could add a women's division or have feature women's matches? Do you ever look at them as being like the blueprint of their success? And now they're doing individual shows with only women's matches as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, in the beginning, we were just trying to like present some new people, give people opportunities, get them their
Sure.
experience and stuff like that. And just like again, just try to see if the fans would come along and start building that following. And it kind of happened within like about 9 or 10 shows before Jimmy's passing. We started really kind of noticing that we were getting a nice fan base as far as people coming to the shows, the online interactions, people interacting and asking questions. And one of the first questions that we have actually had was, when we going to see a women's division? And with the area we're in, it is kind of tricky sometimes. Um, you're only kind of limited to and available to so many at a time because women are everywhere and they're killing it right now in the industry. Like, no shame
Yes.
on that. They're doing everything right now. And a lot of the times they're doing it better than some of us guys. So it's not a surprise to see that they're getting booked everywhere. But that kind of comes into a factor. But also I just want to do it right as well. I don't want to just rush into it. I also
Sure.
would like to kind of get ourselves better on the
Hmm.
back end. Again, we're all going through such a huge learning curve right now. Um,
Right.
and I got a very good group of people supporting me and helping me through this situation and everything, and teaching me a lot of things very quickly. And I feel like once we can utilize some of the small things and just iron out some of these things, we're going to start catching a stride, to say the least. And I think we'll pick up right back where we left off before the unfortunate passing of Jimmy Smooth.
For sure. I know Heather Reckless has had a match at MCW, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She was here in January when we did the ladder match. She was actually in the ladder match with us. She
Right.
was the only female in the ladder match, which Heather is one of my favorites. Like even as a fan,
Hmm.
like I've seen it firsthand. There's no surprise that the gravitational pull and the attraction to her is there. Like she is amazing inside the ring, outside the ring, professionally, personally. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met as well. So definitely looking forward to having her back in the future. Definitely looking forward to having Maggie Lee at some point if possible. You know,
Sure.
again, just wanting to do it right and do it respectfully. That's the most important
Definitely.
thing. Do it with respect and do it graciously. So we're not really just rushing and putting people in situations that they shouldn't be.
For sure. And for you, having had some of the intergender matches, like what is the experience you could bring to that in terms of
So
helping?
the first one that I've ever participated in was very interesting. Just how the crowd reacted. It was very awesome. It was pretty cool actually. I had a lot of fun with that. It was against Amina Belmont. I love her as well. She's very cool.
Yeah.
She's very good in the ring. She's growing a lot as far as, professionally. She's growing very quickly. I would love to see those matches in MCW. I would love to see a women's division in MCW. Would really like to have a tag team division in MCW.
Hmm.
Um, that's probably one of the things that I'm wanting to work on as soon as
Yeah.
possible is just start building the tag team division and trying to make something work along those lines. We've had a lot of people ask about Maggie, Heather, and all these women, and just trying to get the dots all lined up is the
Sure.
only thing that's kind of preventing those. But yeah, big things hopefully in the future for MCW. We're working very diligently, like day in, day out, like 7 days a week, especially myself. So we're all just trying to still grow our fan base
Yeah.
and utilize YouTube as well. Um, I've kind of learned just growing up with social media, especially with YouTube, people watch YouTube like it's television.
Hmm.
Um, so just kind of like finding something to reach a reach a broader audience and get more people in tune with what we have going and seeing who's really contributing, you know?
True. Definitely. And Galli Lucha Libre, can you talk about the experience of working Galli shows? You
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
help them with the rings and just like how invaluable has that experience been with Carlos?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be nothing without the Galli Lucha family. Them bringing me in, teaching me things, giving me opportunities, and traveling with Jimmy Smooth.
Yeah.
I did that. I traveled with Jimmy for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and just seeing guys like Raphael Quintero. I seen one of his first matches at a Galley show before I was even starting to
Wow.
wrestle, so it was very cool. But there, it's a blessing, you know. There's a lot of times people will be like, "Yeah, I got your back" and stuff like that. But the family of Galli Lucha Libre is second to none.
Yeah.
That whole experience has really taught me a lot, just how to kind of just treat people and how to make things happen on show day. Carlos is he's an amazing guy, but you definitely don't want to be around him on a show day when things are
Mhm.
not going right. And
Right.
I like to think that I have a little bit more patience than some other people, and just kind of getting to work side by side a little bit with Carlos and learn from him and Jimmy and all these guys has been very valuable to me, but not just to me, but to the people who help me in this
Yeah.
industry. Oscar Rodriguez. He's always with me at the show. We do ring rentals for Galli Lucha Libre. We're
Hmm.
still upholding that honor with them and, helping them with the rings, um,
Sure.
which is opening more doors for a lot of opportunities for not just myself and everyone else. And I think that's really the big goal here with MCW.
Hmm.
Whether it's we have good talent or the best storylines or whatever, I think that's kind of more secondary. I think the big picture is just really trying to present something that's going to give people an opportunity to learn,
For
an
sure.
opportunity to grow, an opportunity to do other things too. Like one of my big things is trying to make those connections with Galley and other companies and kind of learn and just observe a little bit like a fly on the wall, but
Right.
just be respectful about it. And Carlos has been one of those guys that's been very open to me and everybody at MCW, and has never really held back, um, or kind of sugarcoated things with me,
Hmm.
and I can respect that a lot. Um, so Galley is not going to be on the forefront or the back burner or nothing like that. I'll still
Sure.
be at Galley as much as I can. Um, I would like to see more Galley guys in MCW as well. We've had Majiko, Mascata Suicida, and a couple others kind of pop in here and there.
Mhm.
Um, but bring in that whole new flavor of style and stuff like that and just giving people the opportunity to really showcase themselves
Yeah.
is the big mission here. And I think as long as I have people around me that understand that and that know that this is what we're here to do, it's going to be something very special. And it all starts tomorrow on this Saturday, August 10th with EC3. We're really working to start that transition into presenting what we're trying to really grow here. So
For
I'm
sure.
very thankful for the fans, to really during that process, not only for us like as wrestlers in the wrestling community and stuff, like losing Jimmy was pretty tough, but it
Yeah.
really showed that they wanted it and we made it happen for them. And it was a long day, it was a stressful day, it was lots of emotions. It was a whirlwind, but we made it happen and we realized, hey, we did it. If they want it, we're gonna keep doing it. And let's give them the best that we can present. So if we're gonna do that, let's just really take our time with it. So we're gonna start really implementing things on Saturday. Hopefully, people like what we're doing here. And
Sure.
if you haven't seen the MCW show, just definitely follow us on social media.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have to necessarily go to the show to kind of see what's going on. We're really working heavy on social media to try to showcase that again, utilizing YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, social media is very, very big in this day and age. So we're gonna just try to utilize that to touch a broader audience.
And in your last show, I believe it was in June, you had
Yeah,
Doug Basham from OVW. And
yeah.
how invaluable was he? And I know he has been part of the Netflix series Wrestlers as well. That's really you know reached a broader audience that
Yeah,
outside
and
of the world, that outside of the business.
yeah, it was awesome. That's like my era growing up, to say the least, kind of. I was born in like late 90s, but I grew up watching like 2000, early 2000s, mid 2000s. That was like my childhood peak era. And,
Right.
I grew up watching Doug Basham and Danny Basham. Uh, two-time tag team champions, man. I've seen it. I witnessed it live. So like it was cool to have them there. But the most touching thing was really just kind of watching him sit back and see what we're trying to do and just mingle with a lot of us. He took a lot of time really to talk to us individually, which was very awesome. Um, and he got a good understanding of, why we started wrestling in general, what led us to this very show, why we're there. Um, and just kind of gave us all a bit of advice, which helped a lot of us. We tried to implement what he was teaching us that night. He liked what he saw, and that was the biggest thing I could have hoped for was, he's seen the potential and with what we were doing, and he did. He liked it. He said he wants to come back. He did a tryout with us, or like a tryout seminar, and really got to get his eyes on a lot of us and see what we're kind of capable of. And it was just very cool, to
For sure.
someone who's been there, done that, and is still doing a lot of stuff and contributing to the wrestling business, even though he's not wrestling. It's awesome. And a lot of the things that, you know, a lot of companies, not just MCW, but a lot of companies, when they're starting off, they're like trying to figure out, well, how can we navigate this or, things like that, trying to work with your resources. Um, he really took the time again with like myself and the people that's really helping trying to make this happen and just teach us a lot of things like, don't get frustrated here, try to extort your energy here. You can benefit from this, you can benefit from that. So it was very cool. Um, a lot of the guys that we are bringing in now, like Matty Ice, um, he's been a tremendous help as well. We reference Koa
Right.
helping out a lot. Matty Ice is helping quite a bit as well. In the sense, he has been there as well. He's got some TV experience. He's got some, a lot of credentials, and he knows what it's like to really work in those environments. And if we can create that within our own system, it'll benefit us at this level on the independents a lot better because we're all trying to get to that level. So why not
Yes.
create a system within our own, to yeah, so just get us to that next level, trying to create something within the house that is really going to be something that they're looking for. And Doug took the time to show us how to utilize that with the resources that we have, if that makes sense. And it was so awesome to really have an opportunity to pick someone's brain, you know?
Hmm.
So very grateful for that. Doug had a good match. Yeah, that got stopped short due to hip, and the fans still wanted to see him, and he was touched by that as well. This was his first time being in front of MCW. This is our first time, bringing someone in like
Right.
that, and just trying to again try new things. And it was a very fun show. A lot of the people that came to the show were a lot of people that hadn't seen us once before live. They had seen our stuff online, and
Hmm.
they had a great time.
For sure. You've had some great matches online, including FXB and Nathan Nile, which happened
Yeah,
last year.
very good match. Very good match.
Yeah. Yeah. And two up and coming guys. You've featured Eric Schultz as well. And
Yeah,
he's a
Eric Schultz, I think I don't see Schultz going anywhere anytime soon. He's
yeah.
made a very good impact on the fans. Um, every time he's, challenged with something, he steps up to the plate and he just delivers, man. And I think with some of the things that's going on, I don't think he really likes some of the stuff happening in MCW, and I know he's throwing subpoenas around left and right. He's trying to he's trying to reach out to his, everybody and all his people to make things better for him. And
Sure.
you know, the fans the fans really love interacting with Eric Schultz, and I don't know why. He's a horrible guy sometimes. But yeah, he's not being shy about it. He's very upset that Gunner Brave is not on the roster. And he lost to him. At the end of the day, he lost. Gunner pinned him 1, 2, 3, and there's really nothing left to be said about that. He's out of the tournament. He's mad about that. He's throwing subpoenas left and right. There's nothing really we can do, you know. He just got
Sure.
he just got one up, and I don't think he's very happy about that. So he's probably going to be back soon, reluctantly, but
Definitely.
it is
And
what it is.
you also have Blake Troop, bulletproof Blake Troop on the card.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
talk about him.
Apex is since Apex has come into MCW, he's been very dominant. Throwing his weight around, talking about how he's undefeated and he's looking for a real challenge. So we went out and we seeked someone, who's a legitimate threat, not just in professional wrestling, but in other combat sports as well. So We're gonna
Nice.
see. Is Apex the top of the food chain like he claims to be, or will we see someone else come in and really give him a run for his money? I'm voting Blake Troop. I've seen some of the clips. I've seen some of the clips of him hitting body bags, and
Yes.
the dude throws, man, he throws a lethal right hand, and I don't know if Apex's jaw is gonna hold up for that. Apex claims he's gonna make him tap. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And Bulletproof is a former NWA tag champion, I believe, or he's a
Correct.
contender for those belts, if not a champion.
Contender.
Yeah, contender. Right.
Yeah,
He's
contender.
challenged
Yep.
for them. The United States NWA tag title. Now he's focused on his singles career. Yeah, a former MMA fighter too. I've seen him fight, and he's
Apex
knocked
is,
out.
Apex is a former MMA fighter as
Yes.
well. Not many people really do know that about him. He's still kind of fresh on the scene. But yeah, it's gonna be a slobber knocker between the two. They're both very competitive in their own way. Uh, Blake Troop is looking to make a statement and let everybody know that, he's not someone to be messed with. I've seen it firsthand just looking at his stuff. Like I said, he throws a lethal right hand. He's got mean kicks, mean strikes. Apex is looking to make people tap out, and he's looking to make an example out of Blake Troop. And I don't know, man. It's going to be an even battle, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking Blake Troop's going to put the works on him.
Oh yeah. He's an impressive physical specimen. Is the
Absolutely.
Bulletproof, and a guy that's very versatile. He's done acting roles, been
Yeah,
extras on movies, sets, and of course his accomplished grappling and striking MMA career as well. So I've
very
had him
much
on the
so.
show. Great guy. And then you have Koa and Gunnar Brave one on one. And can you talk about this one a little bit and how exciting it is to see Koa get this opportunity against a younger guy? I don't think they faced each other before, but I may be mistaken.
No, so they have not faced each other in a singles competition match or a
Okay.
singles match at all. I know they have wrestled in some matches at some other promotions, and
Yeah.
yeah, Gunner's never pinned Koa. Koa's never pinned Gunner, and they've shared the ring quite a bit at some other places and stuff. They brush shoulders sometimes, and they've never really gotten to see who wants it more. Gunner's looking to really prove himself to the MCW fans and really trying to prove that HAW is the more prominent promotion. He is
Mhm.
the current champion there, as he defeated me. Yeah, he defeated
Right.
Conan Lycan as well. He's defeated a lot of people that are now on the MCW roster, and he feels that no one's better than him because he holds that championship. And Koa Laxamana is, you know, Hawaiian Hitman. He's defending MCW in the sense of, you're not just gonna come in and think your stuff doesn't stink. You're gonna be Eric Schultz and just leave and ruin our tournament. And that's that. So
Yeah.
Schultz is throwing subpoenas around. He's mad at Gunner. You got Koa who's got some strife with Gunner. Gunner's just walking in, waltzing around like he owns the place and doesn't really sit well with Koa Laxamana. And Koa Laxamana is looking to do something about that tomorrow night.
Definitely. And I'm sure you'll have some other matches that aren't announced as well, right?
Oh, that's all the matches that we have announced. Bulletproof, Gunner, Koa, Rafi, myself. Yeah, yep. Those are all the matches that we have. Um,
I think I saw one advertised for Lizard Man, Nathan Nile.
that was the last show. That
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah. That was the
Oh,
Jimmy Smooth Memorial Show.
okay.
Yeah, that was 2 shows ago.
Gotcha. Well, that's going to be an exciting card. I wanted to ask you about for yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about your story about you know starting off in professional wrestling? You had to stop for a while because you had an accident, and just how did that change your life, and how grateful are you now to be wrestling full time, or to be involved in professional wrestling when it was taken away from you at one point?
I I taken away is a little like too too forward. I
Okay,
didn't really get the chance to showcase myself at that point. I was
sure.
just in training. Um, but it was a big blow, you know, it was a big letdown. Um, at the time I was just basically fresh out of high school and you know, they don't really teach you anything in school anymore. They just pass you by, they kick you out the door, and they don't teach you, pardon my language, shit about life. They don't teach you anything of what
Right,
to expect. And you know, I was terrified to say the least. I'm not gonna lie. I was terrified. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know, you know, how anything worked in the world. I wasn't taught. And you know, I was in my senior year of high school. I was basically failing senior year. I was behind on some credits. I didn't really want to do nothing. I wasn't motivated. Um, and again, I was just scared. But I was watching wrestling, watching Monday Night Raw. Raw got over, and I just didn't want it to end. I wanted to keep watching wrestling because I didn't want to go through that process, you know, go to school. And which at the time I was actually going to an alternative school. So I wasn't even at a regular, you know, community high school or nothing. I'm in a school with, you know, kids who were fighting legal cases or kids who got behavioral issues and stuff like that. And, you know, I just didn't want to go deal with reality and I just wanted to watch more wrestling. And I had never, growing up, I had never really seen much outside of WWE besides like some WCW stuff or a couple ECW clips. I remember being in like fourth grade on MySpace, watching like CZW clips of Zandig and all these guys. But other than that, I was a WWE kid. I had no knowledge of what pro wrestling really was other than WWE. So um, I found New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it was free with your free trial. So I just logged in. I was like, oh, I've never watched wrestling in Japan before. So I turned it on, and it was during the Best of the Super Juniors with Will Ospreay, Ricochet, that famous match that, you know, Vader hates so much. Um, yeah, and like that thing just blew, that match blew my mind. I was like, what the hell is this, you know? And
nice.
I went to school the next day, and as soon as I got in computer class, I wasn't listening to what the teacher wanted to say. I was just looking up this match again because I couldn't believe what I just saw. So I just started watching that, which led to me watching like Ring of Honor, learning about that, learning about, you know, all these other promotions. Next thing you know, I'm watching MLW, you know, I'm watching TNA again. I'm watching all this stuff. And I realized after watching the small documentary, I forget what wrestler it was. I think it was Jericho or yeah, it was Jericho. It was Jericho. So I had his book. I was reading his book at the time. And I was very high on Jericho. So I watched
Mhm.
this thing about Jericho and he was talking about wrestling school. And I had no knowledge of that. And I was like, you have to go to school? And I hate school. So I was like, I don't want to go to school. Like, what is this? But I realized it wasn't school. It was like, you know, it was a different type of school. So I found like Black and Brave, Premier Pro Wrestling, some other schools in like Kentucky area that just looking around and I didn't
Right.
know where I wanted to go. And I was gonna go to Black and Brave, but I couldn't afford it at the time. I was just graduating high school. You know, I couldn't even afford a McChicken, you know? So I was like, what am I gonna do? But Premier Pro Wrestling had like monthly payment plans. So I was like, okay, they're
Okay.
a little more flexible. It's still a little bit of a drive for me. Uh, but it's okay. You know, it's still within the state. I think I can manage it. So I just went up to Premier Pro one day and just dropped the tryout fee and didn't really get told much. Didn't get told if like I should just quit the business or if I should just keep going or what I was
Yeah.
doing was wrong. So I was just like, maybe, I don't know. I gave him my money. I didn't hear anything. I'm just gonna come back. So I came back the next time, and that was when he was like, "Yeah, man, you're more than welcome." It's like, "Okay, cool." And then it was a couple months after that I got into a car accident, and it was not the best day. I was on my way home actually from Michigan. I was doing a travel job at the time, and just rushing, you know,
Right.
rushing to get nowhere, as a lot of people do. But I was rushing to try and go to wrestling school and do all this other stuff, and I ended up totaling my car. I had a concussion, a very bad like cut on my knee. My knee was bothering me for a while, and my confidence just went real down, you know. Um, thought I was just starting to find like what I wanted to do with myself and was getting that confidence, and it just all went away. And I just went back to my travel job, and after a while, 5.5 years of that, I just got tired, you know. Traveling's awesome, don't get me wrong, I love it, especially when you get paid to travel. Uh, but they just weren't really looking out for people. And, I was getting put in really horrible situations that no company should be putting their employees in, to the point where I was like left in Louisiana, Southside
Oh,
Baton Rouge for like 9 hours with everything that I own. Like it was just getting very dicey and very treacherous, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do again. And Jimmy Smooth calls me, and I'm like, "Hello, what's up, man? How you doing? We're touching base." And he's like, "Man, I'm about to get a building, and I think I want to give this another go, like try and restart my company and do this stuff again. But I would like to open a school." And he's like, "I've always kept you in my mind. I've known Jimmy for a few years at that point, but never really talked much. He just knew that I was training at
okay.
PPW and just kept trying to book me. And out of respect, I would always tell him no because, I didn't finish training yet. Why would I do that? You know, uh, but he called me up on my way to California, and it was like a 14-hour phone call that
Oh,
we
wow.
had. It was, yeah, 14 hours we were on the
Wow.
phone. Not a single second
Woo!
was. Yeah, because I was driving from Louisville, Kentucky, and I was going to San Diego, California.
Wow.
Yeah, and that whole time, uh, he just kept like selling me and pitching me like, dude, you got to do it. Like you're athletic, you're young, you're smart and all this stuff. Like he believed in me more than I even believed in myself. And I always had like football coaches talk to me like that. And football, I did okay with it, but I people always seen something more in me than what I've always saw in myself. And that rub came back, and he just kind of like buttered me up, and next thing you know, I was quitting my job and I'm flying back from San Diego. No place really to go home to, nothing like that. I'm just going home and trying to figure it out from there. And I ended up crashing on my buddy's couch for about a year.
Right.
And that whole first week or two, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like I would just sit there and just kind of hang out. And Jimmy called me up again and was like, "Yo, I got a building. Like, come with me to Galli. I'll introduce you to some people. We'll get you in, try to get you some training." And for like the first 3 months, uh, had no luck getting up to Galli, with transportation things and stuff like
Right.
that. And then that first 3 months, I was just in the ring by myself, like shadow wrestling nobody.
Oh, wow.
And it was at that point Jimmy said, "Hey, I have to make this phone call. We got to get you some sort of training. I'm gonna try and get you to Galli." And that's how I got brought into Galli. And
Okay.
I'm very grateful for that because really I credit Galli to bringing me up to speed to a lot of stuff quicker than any other like school could have done at that time,
Right.
especially with like, my situation. I couldn't afford the thousands of dollars to go to school and stuff like that. Because it really made me learn, and started doing those ring rentals and started going around the galley shows. Uh, we had PWX and Streeter for a little bit. That was Jimmy's home
Right.
promotion. And we started bringing some Black and Brave kids in from there just to give them a new opportunity. And
Hmm.
I came across Nasty Nick Nolan, and we started this feud, and it culminated into a big championship match for the United States Championship. And we told a very good story to the point to this day. If I'm in Streeter, people will see me in the local store and they'll be like, "Oh my God," like it's very cool how it impacted people. And that's
Nice.
what steamrolled into MCW is those same people with that same drive and passion and excitement steamrolled right into MCW. And if PWX kind of dwindled down, I started getting more opportunities to go to HAW. Um, that kind of really helped me. understand a lot more and just grow a little bit more and meet more people and make connections. And then things just started picking up from there. Galli Lucha Libre trusted me a lot and gave me a lot of opportunities. And
For sure.
I didn't know if I was doing all right with them. Uh, but one day Carlos was like, "Hey man, this kid's part of the family now. He's not going
Right.
anywhere." So that made me feel really good, and it made me feel like a sense of accomplishment that like what I was doing, no matter what the resources I had or who was teaching me what, like it's working, you know? There's potential. So that gave me a real big boost in confidence. And ever since then, just really just trying to remember why I started wrestling. I started watching wrestling as a kid just because my parents and my brothers
Right.
and I got my own passion for it, but I started wrestling to inspire other people to do what they want to do in life, no matter what they're doing, no matter where they came from, no matter how much money they have, whatever. Um, and that's like my whole mission. So it's pretty cool to just kind of fast forward and long story short, see little kids around my town or just go to some of these places and they're like treat me like I'm someone special when I'm just an average guy, like or just like them. And it's surreal a lot. And I'm blessed, really,
Yeah.
because I didn't even see this coming for myself. Like once I had that car accident, I thought like, yeah, I gave it a go.
Right.
Maybe I can't afford that anymore, especially with like you hear these things about wrestlers and age. I thought being in my early 20s was too late. Um, you know, which is very
Wow.
dumb to think, you
Yeah.
know? Um, but I was just defeated, man. I was so defeated and demoralized that I had no clue what I was gonna do, and it took one other person to see something in me that led to this and that and the other to where now there's, kids that will come up to me and be like, "You're my favorite wrestler." And it's like,
Mhm.
man, you could have chose Randy Orton, you could have chose whoever, and you're choosing me. Like, it's
Right.
awesome, Like, it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel a sense of pride, accomplishment. Um, and I always like to use the phrase the journey
Hmm.
because, it's not the destination you're getting to, it's the journey that
For
you
sure.
need to really embrace and think back on because this is what's truly going to define myself
Hmm.
just as a person and as a wrestler. This process that I'm in right now, this pivotal point in my life and these growing pains is what's going to lead me to become the person and performer that I want to be. And, whether it pays off or not, I'm just very fortunate that a young kid like myself, who was lost and didn't know what the hell was going on, finally figured something out and find something that he was really truly good at and made something happen with it. And he did it not just for himself, but for other people to inspire other people.
Definitely.
Like that's me. That's A.M.B. That's Austin Michael Baldridge. That's me as a person. That's me as a professional. Like that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's what led me to the ring. It's what led me, down this path. And, you know, I'm very grateful to have the support of the wrestling community, my friends, my family, my girlfriend, other people. It's I get a loss of words, honestly. Like I sit up all the time and I'll talk to my like parents or, friends and family about this stuff all the time. It's like I have to like pinch myself because I don't want to get too caught up in things like going through the
Hmm.
motions and then I don't cherish these things and then I'm just looking back at them 50 years from now and I'm like, "Oh, what if I did that?" Like I'd rather
Right.
just enjoy it, embrace it and let things roll. All the good times are going to roll and all good things come in time and if this is something that's truly going to happen for myself, it's going to happen.
Definitely. Well, that's awesome. And how do you measure your success in pro wrestling? Is it the fans' reactions, the matches, the reception after? How would you? Oh, are you there? Hello? Hey, there you are.
There we go.
Yeah. So my next question for you is now, how do you measure the success in pro wrestling? Your success in pro wrestling, how are you measuring it? By the fans' reaction, the reception of the matches while they're happening? Is it the reception of the locker room, or your fellow wrestlers in the locker room?
Uh, I'd like to say a combination of all, but really for myself, um, really how the fans react, because that's what's important. You know, they're paying customers. Um, they paid a ticket to come and see us because we're presenting something and we're characters and we carry ourselves in a professional way that, they're enticed. They want to be entertained, and that's our job. We're here to entertain. Um, Sometimes I will say some of the some of the times when I've had my most conflicting thoughts about like, man, is this working or is this not? It's usually the fans that remind me that, what I'm doing is meaningful or it's helping, or even if it's not helping them, it's helping me because they always remind me, like I got this little bracelet right here. This little kid made this for me, and like
Oh wow,
recently, I've had a lot of things kind of like go left on me in my personal life. And so I'm just trying to like keep a level head and keep my head above water, stay level headed and everything like that. And like,
sure,
I was having a rough day that day going into a show, and before I could even get in the door, this little kid came up to me and just picked me right back up. And it's like, that's what we're here to do. We're here to connect with these people and make them feel something, not just, do it for the pop, to say
right.
the least. Do it for the reaction. So to me,
Mhm.
that's very important. Obviously, having the respect of my peers is very important as well. Without respect, um, no one
Definitely,
really cares, honestly. If you don't have respect for your peers, for wrestling, for the business, like it can definitely not be a good time for those people.
hmm
And I always do my best to just be respectful to people, because the power of respect is never to disrespect. And
sure.
it's something that I was taught. I was taught that as a kid not to like disrespect your elders or anything like that. And I think it goes along with any profession, anything that you're doing. You know, I was just listening to Adam Pierce on Chris Van Vliet, and he was saying work hard, respect people equals success. And it's like an equation, and I believe that as well in that same sense. So to me,
For
having
sure.
the respect of the peers, most importantly, the fans, because again, they pay their hard-earned money to come see us do what we love to do. And a lot of those same people paying for that ticket would wish to be in the position that we're in. So we have to, really be very realistic about, what we're doing here.
But definitely. And you and Magico, you had a great match with Los Jefes, the Jefes, Golden Star and Sabrino Jr., Eros and Septico, and I believe another team joined you. Was it Caribbean Arrogance?
Uh,
Or it was the one other team, I forget.
oh,
Or am
you're
I
talking
mistaken?
the Penta show.
Yeah, the Penta show. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I forget the other team that was in there. I just remember
Oh,
that show specifically. I remember that show being so wild because my parents, they had come to a couple galley shows, but nothing like a big galley show. And
okay.
they were blown away. Especially like my stepdad. I've been, we'll watch wrestling with them from sometimes, and he's like, "Man, I've never seen nothing like this, man. This is that dude on TV." And I'm like, "Yeah, like that's him." And he didn't believe me, so we were kind of going back and forth, but they had a wonderful time. They loved every match. The atmosphere of the place and the building was awesome. We did a memorial for Jimmy Smooth to open the show. me and Oscar and Carlos, which was very touching. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy did a lot of work for Galli Lucha Libre. Since 2007, 2008, he's been their main go-to guy for ring rentals and refs and stuff like that. So, it was an honor to do that. Everybody had fun. It was the first time I took my nephew to a galley show, which he was blown away. Um, yeah, I'm still trying to think who was in that match. The
I
match
think
was
Jack
so
Fowler.
quick. Yeah, Jack Valor was in it. I forget who he teamed with though.
Me too. And they don't have it listed on the websites. But
That match was insane. It felt
it was.
like a blink of an eye because things were happening so fast. Like it was so wild. I remember I was trying to go take someone outside. I think it was Golden Star, and like the light came up and blinded me right as I was about to fly. I was like, oh no. But it's very fun, man. I love Galley. I wouldn't be nothing without Galley Lucha Libre, and I'm not
That's
going
true.
anywhere. I'm gonna be at Galley as much as I can.
For sure. And now we know that Pentagon and Phoenix are going to leave AEW and they're heading to WWE. So it's great to say you were
Yeah,
on a card because as once that happens, they can no longer do any independent wrestling.
yeah, absolutely. Only one can hope that, you know, everything works well for them. And they're so good, they're so talented. I don't see any issue with that. But yeah, no, it's very surreal sometimes. Like I've had to kind of bring myself down sometimes because I'm like, wait, I just shared a locker room with so and so, or like, had the opportunity to talk to someone like Will Ospreay. He inspired me to
Yeah.
actually like wrestle. So it was like the fact that I had a chance to really sit and have a real conversation with them for about 10, 15 minutes and talk about all things besides wrestling. We talked wrestling, but all things besides that, it was surreal. Like it took me a while to even realize like, man, I got to do that. That was cool. Like, holy crap. And I'm having a lot of those moments lately.
Yeah, that was a surprise too. It was the one CSW show I didn't make this year, and
Yeah,
lo
and
and
like
behold,
everybody knew, like the people that know me at CSW, they all kind of know like my background and like, that was the match that made me want to wrestle and stuff. So,
all right.
everyone was just like coming up to me like, man, you're gonna cry later tonight. You're gonna do this. You're gonna react like this. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what's going on? And I left, went for a walk and grabbed some energy drinks, and I come back and I like walked in the door and like half the people were just like looking and staring at me, and I'm like, oh man, I was put on the spot. Like my face got so red, so I got super warm. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I noticed Will Ospreay. I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Like, man, dude, like, and that was the first time I had been to CSW. Like actually a part of like the Rumble and going to really see how
Right.
CSW really is. So it was just like, wow, like the one time I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go and like I'm available, I can do it. I can get all my stuff lined up and I can make this show. He happened to be there. So it's like there's a lot of moments where I'm like, man, I get photos or videos sent to me and I'm like, holy crap, I just did that. Like that's
Yeah.
me right there. Like wow, it's a blessing. It truly is a blessing. Because like 5, 6 years ago, I literally had no idea what I was gonna do. I thought I would
Yeah.
just be a delinquent juvenile kid or, just make some bad decisions. And, only God knew what was in store for me. But, you know, wrestling's been in my life since I was about 2 years old, 3 years old.
Sure.
My first memory of wrestling is WrestleMania 17, which that took place in 2001. So I had the DVD, which probably came out like September of '02. So like I grew up watching that whole WrestleMania on DVD and like, it was super cool to like,
Yes.
man, I shared a locker room with Rhino or I had Rhino at MCW or I've done seminars with the guy, so it's just like, man, wrestling's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's in my blood. Um, for as long as I have the love and passion for pro wrestling, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care if it's the Midwest. You guys can try to push me to go out west. I'm still gonna go do it. I'm not going anywhere. Wrestling for as long as my body will go, and for as long as I have the passion
Sure.
and the drive. I'm gonna be out here bumping the mat and trying to entertain people and inspire people as best as I can.
Yeah, for sure. Those high risk maneuvers. I mean, we've seen them. You know, they're very risky to perform. And Gunnar himself had, I believe, a concussion he suffered a few years ago. So those moves definitely, don't come without the risk involved, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a pretty bad concussion myself. February of this year,
Hmm.
which it's crazy. It seems like it was last year, but it was this year. Um, the hottest topic was doing a show, and
Okay.
I was wrestling Conan Lycan in a singles match. So that would have been the second time I would have had the chance to wrestle him in singles, but it ended up getting cut short. I clipped my head off the edge of the ring and was knocked out cold. So yeah, it's
Oh,
you know, high risk, high reward doing some stuff. Gunner also too had kind of a similar situation happen to him. He also was banged up pretty bad. And you don't want to see that for anybody, let alone anyone who's new, fresh and young and has potential. And it was that day, you know, when I finally started coming back out of the fog. It's like, man, I just gotta be more be more safe and turn it down just a little notch. Maybe be a
yeah.
little bit smarter about what I'm doing and stuff like that. And started implementing those things. And then I had my knee hiccup on me at a HAW show.
Oh,
I was wrestling Jack Valor, and yeah, I don't know, something just got really weird in my knee. I went up for a drop kick, just a basic drop kick, and my knee, as I was coming down, my knee got really heavy. I hit the mat, and it was just like cramped up. So, I wrestle with a brace on underneath my tights. So, when they say this isn't ballet, they truly mean it. A lot of
yeah.
wrestlers, they'll always be like, "What's the ring look like? Is that fake or whatever?" And it's like, nah, dude, just stick around like 20 minutes after the show ends. Wait till the guys come out, watch them peel the ring back.
Yeah.
It's very crazy to really think this is what we do.
Yeah.
But we do it all for the love of the sport, man. And that's just me. If I'm gonna do something, I'm doing it 110%. But being smart about it is definitely the way I need to go. Just because, I've had some people talk very highly of myself and, say that there's something here with what I'm doing. And
Sure.
longevity is key. Building a true career out of this is what I'm looking at. And that's my goal. So just always remembering the bigger picture rather than trying to live in the moment. It's
Hmm.
good to embrace the moments and cherish them. Um, but finding that fine line of, all right, when's this going a little, is it worth it, basically? And just trying to find out what's worth it and what's worth the risk is, you have to be smart about that.
Definitely. And then when you started till now, talk about your journey of fulfillment as a pro wrestler. Like, how would you define that?
I'm not even nowhere near close, dude. Nowhere near close to being fulfilled, not even close to even
Right.
being satisfied. Um, I feel like I'm 2 years in almost on December 31st. It'll be 2 official years of me in ring, but I'm about almost 3 years in when it comes to like the training and total.
Right.
And I feel like I'm literally just wrapping up my first year, you know? I've been doing a lot of shit, pardon my language, but just been really trying to plug away and just be as active as possible, and just log in them hours, I'm trying to get the experience and the reps and really try to go to these places that
Mhm.
whether they're small, big, credible or not, just try to really see what's working and what's not and trying to figure out what's in also in my best interest, but also what's gonna really be beneficial to what the big picture is here. Really, I just want to inspire people. Um, a little bit, I would say a little bit of fulfillment, like 5% in this whole
Mhm.
grand scheme of things, just because of some of the things. And, like I said, people coming up to me, it's starting to get over and people are starting to really acknowledge that I'm a wrestler. And Like those things, yeah, they feel good. And it means a lot when I get these kids coming up to me, but I'm nowhere near close to being satisfied with what I want to do. I have so much more that I
Hmm.
think the more I learn, the more I'm going to even be able to give back. And there's not a lot of people that would, be in this position that I'm in
Hmm.
or even want to be, like I honestly did not want to be in a position that I'm in right now, when it comes to like promoting and doing that stuff because I love wrestling. I want to be a wrestler first
Sure.
and, achieve my goals. But I also think too, being bestowed this opportunity and being in the position that I am in now and
Hmm.
given the great honor to do something for Jimmy, MCW, the community,
Yes.
his family, all of us. Um, I think it's a pretty cool thought to just sit and think like, damn, I'm 26. Imagine what kind of promoter I could be if I just really lean in and just try to embrace this. What kind of promoter I could be when I'm 36.
Hmm.
And if nothing comes from wrestling, like how I'm getting there and what I'm doing to inspire people, it could change. It may not always be me wrestling. Maybe it is me promoting, but
Right.
I feel so blessed to have an opportunity to even just be in this position, to even say that I am a pro wrestler, to even say that I'm in the wrestling business, to say that I know wrestlers. Um, 5-year-old me, this is what I dreamt about.
Hmm.
And you know, unfortunately when Jimmy passed, before he would always tell me, yeah, I'm gonna give, it's an opportunity not just for you, but it's an opportunity for everybody else. And like I thought he was just trying to provide that, but he also understood he needed to give back too.
Hmm.
And, you know, unfortunately he did pass. No one could have predicted that or expected that.
Hmm.
But his family, it really touched me one day when we were doing a memorial service for him when they were like, well, this is the opportunity that Jimmy always promised he would give you is to learn. That's all he's ever promised me. He never promised me a dime, never promised me a WWE tryout, never try nothing
Right.
like that. He just always said, I'll give you an opportunity to learn, give you an opportunity to grow, and an opportunity to see if this is what you
Hmm.
want to do. And he fulfilled on all three of those promises. And I think right now on one of them, I'm really just starting to really get that opportunity within MCW. And, I just want to inspire people.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. And the moment I feel like I'm not able to do that or I'm not doing that anymore, it doesn't mean I have to walk away from wrestling. I have another opportunity to lean into with this
Hmm.
MCW and promoting side where wrestling's going to be in my life forever. It has been. It's never really went away. It's not going to go away.
Hmm.
So just being very, very realistic and humble about it, but also trying to be very gracious about it too. And like I literally have moments at least 3 or 4 times a day where I'm just like, how the hell am I, what am I doing with my life right now? Like, what am I
Right.
doing? And I'm the first person to tell everybody too, like, I'm not shy to admit it. I'm not shy to, put my flaws out there. I tell everybody, I'm not the first person to sit here and say I know everything or I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm the
Right.
first person to tell you I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm willing
Hmm.
to fucking learn. And I think that's really helping me, because I'm being
Definitely.
authentic. I'm being real and I'm being genuine about it. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing, I'm just trying to figure out what's more beneficial and what's more realistic and utilizing the sources that we have. How can we make it work? And I think a lot of people see that. I think they see that in my wrestling too, is that it's genuine, it's authentic, like the energy and the passion I have. I'm not just hitting the curtain and just showing that energy because it's a facade. I really feel that, and I do. And I think it's kind of feeding off into both ways, So I'm just really praying and hoping for the best, not only for myself, but for everybody else involved. everybody who's a fan, everybody who wants to come to a show, everybody who has, all the kids that look up to, whether it's me, Chris Mercer, Nick Nolan, Koa, Gunner, Maddie, all these kids that really look up to someone else. That's what I want to do it for.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a great answer, and can't wait to see what happens. Of course, everybody check out Midwest Championship Wrestling. Of course, this Saturday, August 10th. Make sure to be there. It's for the anniversary show, and of course, Jimmy Smooth will be there in spirit, I believe. Right?
Always,
Yeah.
always. We got the Jimmy Smooth jackets, the famous red flaky sparkle jacket with smooth on the back. That's gonna always be on display at our shows. Um, you know, he's not with us physically, he's here with us spiritually and in our hearts. But MCW, Jimmy founded this place. I helped found it and create it with him. And just to always make sure that he's not forgotten. That's one of the things why we actually introduced the MCW Jimmy Smooth Memorial Trophy.
Oh,
So,
nice.
we every year and the month of June we're gonna start doing the Jimmy Smooth Memorial Cup. And the winner will receive the awards, get to hold it, take it home, you know what I mean? Show it with their friends and loved ones, share stories about
Mhm.
Jimmy, keep his legacy alive. Uh, you know, Jimmy's family's been very supportive. They've been, came to the very first one. I had
Right.
the very good blessing and honor to win the first ever inaugural Jimmy Smooth Memorial Cup. Um, he was like a father to me, so it meant a lot that, I had the support of fans, and family. And this is going to be a yearly thing that we're going to do. We're going to have a Rumble style interval um for the trophy, and that's going to be the time of year you're going to see a lot of fresh new faces come into MCW. Try to make an opportunity, try to make an impact, because it all started with Jimmy, and this is where everyone's journey is going to start, is through this cup.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's a nice
Yeah.
resemblance and honor.
Yeah, if anybody's in the area or from the Chicago, come on out. It's going to be MCW Insurrection. Make sure to check it out August 10th and get your tickets as well. And A.M.B, I'm very happy to finally have you on PWE. Thanks for giving your time and sharing your stories. And we look forward to hearing from you again on PWE. And if you like to plug anything, go ahead. Your social media, if you do any merchandise, go ahead.
Absolutely. You can follow me on social media at Instagram at AMB98. You can follow me on Facebook at Austin Michael Baldridge. Follow me on Twitter at A.M.B Pro Wrestling. YouTube, you can watch my matches, you can watch promos, highlights, and all that good stuff on YouTube at A.M.B Pro Wrestling as well. Um, Honestly, man, I just want to say thank you for, always just bringing some of the guys on, talking to a lot of us, giving us a platform to really share,
Sure.
just us as personal people, but also us within the wrestling community. And always just highlighting shows, man, because, there's a lot of shows going on around. Not everybody can make all of them. Uh, it's okay. One of the big things about wrestling fans right now, there's a lot of back and forth. It's okay to just like pro wrestling. It doesn't matter where
Mhm.
you go and watch it. And
Right.
as long as you're having fun, as long as you're having a good time, you get your money's worth you know. So I just appreciate you always highlighting all the small
Oh, no
companies and
worries.
just trying to, help guys get a platform to really share their stories and their journeys and stuff like that. And I know we've
Okay.
talked about this, doing this quite a bit. I've
Yes.
ran into you a couple times. We've never really gotten the stars to align, but no, I appreciate it, man, for real. It means a
Oh,
lot
my
to
my
come on
pleasure.
here. Yeah, you
Yes, for
definitely have a
sure.
good following.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. And everybody, check out Midwest Championship Wrestling. Going to be a heck of an event on August 10th, and more shows to come as well. And rest in peace to Jimmy Smooth. And
Absolutely.
I'm very sad to see what happened with him. And he'll be missed. He'll be missed, but he'll be there watching the action. you can't miss it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you plan on coming to the MCW show, feel free. If you had a memory with Jimmy Smooth or if you knew him outside of wrestling and you happen to be at the show, feel free to just come over. You guys can take pictures with the jacket. You guys can, it'll be on display, but you guys can definitely get that photo op in. You guys can definitely share your stories with some of us. We would love to hear them, especially myself, Chris Mercer as well. Me and Chris both, we spent a lot of time with Jimmy. Jimmy's known Chris since 2013. I've known Jimmy since about 14, 15. So it would mean a lot to us and especially his family to hear these stories, with the wrestling business as busy as it is. Jimmy's family never really didn't get the opportunity to see, Jimmy put his passion on display through wrestling and run these shows sometimes. And, you know, it's uh it's been helping them grieve, hearing how much of an impact that Jimmy and how MCW is making an impact on these people. And so
Mhm.
definitely come on by to an MCW show. You can follow MCW on Facebook at Midwest Championship Wrestling Illinois. Follow us on Instagram at MCW Illinois. Um, Twitter as well, MCW_Illinois. And just follow the ticket link, man. Uh, we're trying to
Perfect.
like get to some new areas, so we might be coming to a city near you. You never know. Um, Definitely just enjoy pro wrestling. And
Oh yeah.
again, it was an honor to be here, man. I appreciate it so much.
Anytime. Yeah, and I do like
Absolutely.
your acronym AMB. Like it really fits like that. You can use it, and that's your real name as well, your shoot name, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a short story. Like when I was born, my mom wanted to have a daughter. She wanted a girl, and she didn't really rush to pick any names, and she wanted to basically wait to find out what I was gonna be. And she had no names. When she realized she was having a third boy, she's like, well, damn, I ain't got a name. And my dad, my real dad, he didn't have a name really picked out either. And it was kind of left up to my brothers, which is very
Oh
interesting. But yeah, I was named after Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's where Austin comes in. I was named after Shawn Michaels. That's where
yeah.
Michaels comes in. So it was pretty cool. Like when I first started wrestling, I got a list of names tossed at me, basically.
Mhm.
Um, None of them were any good. I can't even remember any of them. That's how bad they were. Uh, I was like, nah, I'm definitely not going to do this. I'm not going with that.
Right.
And I was just watching AEW, man. Something as simple as it is, just like MJF, like that just kept. It was during the CM Punk thing too, so he was very, very hot,
Right.
and the crowds were just going crazy over it. And I'm like, man, it doesn't sound too bad. Uh, and just talking with my friends and family and stuff like that, just trying to figure out what I was gonna call myself. Wrestling's so much a part of me and my personal self, then why not just put myself on display? Because there's no difference, you know? I mean, I literally eat, sleep, and breathe pro wrestling, so why
Yeah.
not? And I figured, if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then the first night I went out as A&B, first time I went out, did a little sympathy angle where I got beat down, and the whole place was A&B, 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 and I'm like, all right, cool, it works. And
Yeah.
that was like the first mental light bulb that I had. So, it's very apropos. I'm just trying to be as authentic and genuine as I can, and I think again, people see that, and I think that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people are kind of gravitating towards me because there's no gimmick, there's no character. I'm just myself turned up a couple notches, and people really seem to enjoy that.
Oh yeah, for sure. You definitely stand out. And
Thank you.
before I let you go, can you do me a favor and please record a quick shout out to PWE. I want to stop this recording and I'll put another one out. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Of course.